Okay, can you just say where we are?
We're at the bike shop.
No, where in the world?
St. George, Utah.
What did you think of St. George?
Yeah, it was stunning. Sorry, I've just cleaned my bike because I've got to train and race next weekend. Scenery was amazing. People were friendly. St. George is like a cute, how will I say, old town. Very clean, wide streets. Yeah, like I said, we had a great experience. Exploring the town a bit, which is always quite tough with racing when you want to try and rest, but we got into St. George quite early, so we had the privilege of able to do that. Went to some nice coffee shops which were really good. Well, Hannah said the coffee was good, but yeah, I mean, I did do a pre-ride in Snow Canyon because I'd heard about the views and stuff, and I knew I wouldn't be able to enjoy it on race day. And yeah, so Snow Canyon's like a national park with a big climb, which we did in the race. But yeah, it was stunning.
Beautiful, eh? So pretty!
On the tactical side, I did do the about 2/3 of the bike course. But yeah, Snow Canyon was going to be I thought it was going to be, and it did turn out to be the crucial point of the race. It's about 4.5 kilometers climb, and it comes in about 70 kilometers in the 90 kilometers of the bike. So it is tough, and because it's in a canyon, you are exposed to howling winds and stuff. So yeah, but St. George in general as well, I was surprised with how good the riding is. The cars respect you on the road, and there are bike paths everywhere, from town, outside of town. It's very, very biker friendly, if I can put it that way. Yeah, so we decided to not actually stay in St. George. So the actual St. George race, you end in St. George, but you don't start there. So you start in a place called Sand Hollow, which is like a nature reserve, but that's where we swim. So we decided to stay near there rather than St. George. But yeah, the luxury of living nearby was 2 days before the race, I went to swim in Sand Hollow, so where we actually raced.
Does it?
Yeah.
Why?
It's choppy. And the water's like... It's like sea for us.
Yeah, it is so turquoise, isn't it?
It's like, you think, why am I not tasting salt in my mouth? No, seriously, like, it's insane. And then you look up and you like look, and it feels like you're in a desert. It's so strange. It's like you see the red sand, which obviously you can't see clearly properly, but then also like you see those mountains in the vista, and it's like your mind plays tricks on you. But the guy's saying so fucking cold. It's so nice.
The day before?
Lots of relaxing.
No. So with Ironmans, you have to check your bike in the day before, and it sleeps there overnight. But yeah, what you would think would be a relaxing day the day before turned out to be a bit of a logistical nightmare. I think it was a sold out race with about 3,000 entries, so because it's an age group and professional race, and everyone's trekking to St. George to be able to set up your run transition. You have the pro briefing, and after that you have to trek back to Sand Hollow where you set up your bike, and you have to do this all in a certain time frame. So you have to check in your bike before 5 p.m. the previous day. So I mean, it sounds like not a lot of work, but you need to make sure your nutrition's ready, you need to make sure your bike's ready, your wheels are pumped, and you know, your run shoes and your run watch, and you have to give everything in basically. So I mean, you race basically planning for the race more than 24 hours before the race. So it ended up being quite a long day.
Check-in done, baby. Another bags collection. Got another saddle to try. Don't think I'm going to use it tomorrow though. We'll go try it. Thanks to Buy Saddle for it. Been loving their saddles. I'm racing saddle tomorrow, but yeah, I'm gonna try this one next week. Just got a nice cap from them, you see. And then shout out to my boy Braxton. I visited this lady in Boulder. She's based in Boulder, Colorado. Wave Tools, and went and spoke to her. She actually remembered you, Brax. So yeah, so they just like a Creek muscle scraper, and this is soft tissue release tool, so just for recovery purposes. And then yeah, she said she'll do some treatments on me as well, so next week's recovery is sorted, so we'll see how that goes.
But like I said, being so close to the start, you could wake up slightly later. We saved about half an hour, which is really worth it when it's a 3:30, 4 wake up.
Okay, and race day.
Yeah, so race day was nice and early. They were predicting more wind than I think we had. The wind did pick up though, and it did get quite a lot hotter, but because we started so early, yeah, the wind was at a minimal. Yeah, so did my normal race prep. Had a bit of nerves as it was my first 70.3 of the year. I've been racing a lot of like short course, and then St. Anthony's last weekend was a Olympic distance. But yeah, like got there more than enough time to spare, did my normal warm up, and yeah, then when we got down, we like waited just so the sun could start rising, and yeah, I was able to look at the views before we actually started, which is quite rare because everyone's normally so focused on what they have to do. The swim started off well. Because we were quite a big race group starting all at once and with a narrow entrance, it was quite a bit of fighting at the start. I got pulled slightly, but I would say probably not as bad as what it could have been. So I got away pretty well, got some clear water, and yeah, there were like two pods that formed. I was on the left hand side, which had a few swimmers that I knew that are good swimmers, and then there were some strong swimmers on that side, and it kind of like just amalgamated into one. And I found myself about third, fourth of that stage. But yeah, so I closed into the front guy, and my aim was not to actually take the lead. I was happy just to sit in, but I also knew there were Uber bikers in the group, and the swim pace started slowing down. So at about 300, 400 meters in, I decided to go to the front, just to try and drive the pace a bit. And I think I did shake off quite a few people, so there were definite packs that formed. But yeah, so I led from then on into the end of the swim, which I haven't done for a while, so that was pretty good. Managed to pick up a swim bonus from Blue 70, which is my wetsuit and swim sponsor. So for exiting the water first at big races like this last weekend, you get performance bonuses. So I managed to pick up that, which was pretty nice. You know, while you're racing, that you already picked up some prize money, especially for triathletes that are struggling financially. So then I got out on the bike, and I was joined by one of my mates who I've been racing with for quite a while. We raced short course together, and then I raced in Europe with him, and we did a similar thing. Actually, there he came out just before me, and we biked together for about, I think we biked the full 90 k's then as well. So we kind of knew each other, and then there were two other guys, a German and a French guy, and we kind of worked really well together. So that kind of set us up. St. George has got one of the hardest bike courses, I have to admit, on the calendar. I haven't raced all the races, but by far one of the toughest bike courses, for a variety of reasons. It is deceptive. You're not at full-on altitude, but St. George's lies about at 800 meters above sea level, so you definitely feel that impact. And when you're climbing Snow Canyon, you do get to about 1,300 meters, so the air is a lot thinner than a normal sea level race, so that plays a role. Just the punchy climbs all along the course, you can never settle down into a rhythm. And then obviously the wind and the heat, which we were fortunate to get the least of this time. We did get a bit on the run, but the heat didn't play a factor on the bike at all. So biked really well. We stayed together, and then one or two bikers from behind caught up to us, and then they tried to shake the field. Two guys went off the front while the pack of three stayed. I made my move on Snow Canyon purely because I felt like the chasers behind us were catching us, so I went off the front. It was quite interesting racing with race rangers, which basically is something you plug like on the front of your fork, and then you plug another on the back. So it's basically like a rear light on the back, and it flashes different colors. So if I'm sitting on my bike here and I look in front, the distance is set. So like for 12 meters it'll go a certain color, which is your draft legal zone, and then if you are further, it'll be no color at all, there'll be no light. But if you're within 12 meters, so if you go closer than you should, it has different colors, but it ends up going red. So it's nice for me to see, it's nice for the officials to see, so it's not a judgmental thing, so it's not subjective. Like I can see exactly where I need to be, and I think it just provides more fairer race. I think with the big start list, I think there have been problems with guys trying to get too close, just because the sheer mass of the races. So I mean, that was quite nice. First time I've used it, I had to study it the night before just to make sure I knew it was going. I really did try to remember what colors meant what. So that was pretty cool. I kind of like my OCD self stared at the lights the whole day, but when I did go to the front, there was nothing to look at for the rest of the race. So I came in transition in third. I got off the bike in third, with the two chasers just behind me as well, so we kind of all came in together, and we headed on to the run. So the run started from St. George obviously, and you literally come on a transition and you're on a super steep hill, which is in the main street of the town. The first lap was fine doing that hill, the second lap not so much, but the spectators were like nothing I've ever seen. Typical big American race. It was North American champs. They were out, the water points were stacked with people helping, which was really nice. The race I dropped into fourth for about 10 seconds and I went back into third. I was third up until 800 meters to go of the 21k run. But I'd been hurting for a while. My legs were quite finished. I ended up fifth, about 30 seconds off the podium. So, I mean, it's not ideal. It's something that obviously I would have liked, but I also knew that I'd given it everything. I mean, there were some I don't know if Hannah got on video, but there were some desperate scenes at the finish line. But just sheer exhaustion, really. So I can't even blame my nutrition or my physical conditioning. It's just, I gave it all I had, and that was it. And now I'm back in Denver. I realize now how tough altitude is. I did take some time to recover because obviously it was a quick turnaround from St. Anthony's, which I definitely carried fatigue in because that was a Sunday race and St. George was a Saturday race. So it was a 6-day turnaround with travel. So it's nice to be here for a while. So I'm going to be in Denver, Colorado for 10 days, and then we're off flying to Chattanooga in Tennessee, which will be the next pro race. That's next Sunday. But hopefully get a nice relaxing weekend in. Mother's Day this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm far from home, but Hannah's got a mom as well, so we'll probably get some nice food there. But just basically sort out the bike, which I've been trying to do. I've been all over the place. I'm standing in the garage that I'm trying to convert into like a pain cave. I love indoor trainers, so I'm trying to build this up, but I need to get prize money slowly but surely, or sponsors, but those are hard to come by. So I'm just trying to make sure everything's ready, just breathe a bit and get into a nice rhythm. I'm seeing physio at the end of this week as well, which I haven't had since getting to the States, because I'm very picky with physio, so hopefully this one is quite good. Then I am getting ready, I guess, and recovering and enjoying what Colorado has to offer.